Hey guys, what's up? Paul Kolaski here, National Director with IDLife, also owner of Vallejo PT, Vallejo Physical Therapy, down in Houston area. Sorry I'm getting to you guys so late. Interesting thing happened to us last night at our mixer. I know I talked a lot about what can happen at the mixers and trying to be ready for all of those things. Holy moly, did we have some technical difficulties last night. Speakers wouldn't work. My computer wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi. We had a pretty big trial, I guess, of making sure and seeing how we can adapt. We got it all done. We did start about 10 minutes late, but we did get it done. So, I think even though you get some trials, you can definitely get through it. Sorry to hear about Lindsay. Hopefully she's is at home resting, getting better. And sorry again, I'm taking so long to get this thing out. My phone completely crashed, so I didn't have it until earlier today. We'd already started clinic, and we ran through. My goodness, we were over 80 people through our facility this morning, and I just wrapped up about a half an hour ago. So getting this stuff out to you guys. Let's talk about sampling. All right, I'm going to pull from a lot of sources today. Probably some of the biggest ones going to be Eric Worre, talking about GoPro. Guys, if you have not read that book, as a matter of fact, part of the assignment today is going to come from that book. So we're going to get everybody looking at GoPro. And, of course, obviously, Logan Stout always does a phenomenal job with his trainings. So sampling. Biggest thing that we need to be looking at with samples, and this is all coming almost directly from Logan Stout at this point, is making sure that we're sampling heavy, guys. I totally agree with this. We keep a ton of product here at the facility. That way we've always got something that we're able to give out. When I first started doing this, I was one of those people that would hang on and kind of hoard samples. We had a whole bunch of samples sitting up in our weight loss room. And we've given them all out. All that stuff is gone. Really trying to make sure that we're sampling heavy. And what does that mean? Really make sure that you're giving out enough stuff to give them a real accurate depiction of what it's going to feel like to be on the product, as well as what they might miss when they're off of it. So I'm right there with Logan and saying that it needs to at least be a week's worth of product. We do that with the sleep strips. We do that with everything that we give out here. We try to give out a week's worth. So I know that's not always in the sample kits. So if you're giving out a sample kit so they can have a little bit of everything, make sure that you're having that communication with those guys to figure out what they're most interested in. Also, when you're sampling, guys, I think it's extremely important that you basically are leading in with your why. Okay, so this is where a lot of the assignments are all coming together now. You need to have your why in, and one of the biggest things that I really want you to kind of pay attention to is, you want to kind of have one that's short and sweet. A 30 to 60 second pitch that you've got ready to go, and you need to make sure that bad boy is interesting, that it leaves them basically wanting more information. They're eager. They want to try these products. They want to see what it's all about. As a minimum requirement, try to sample 2 people per day. Again, that's coming straight from Logan. And one that I really like, he touched on this a little bit during the VIP experience, is giving out additional information in addition to the product, okay, or the samples. So don't just give somebody a package of the sleep strips. Give them some additional information. And if you want to make an info sheet, an 8.5 by 11 info sheet of the products, guys, this is in the back office. You can pull some of these things down. You could collage that with some testimonials that we might have that are existing already on the Facebook page. Put those things together and definitely, again, give them more information. The goal at this point in the game is the experience, your excitement, their experience with the products, that it's awesome, and the education that we can give those guys, give the people that you're sampling. Follow-ups. Let's get back to samples a little bit. Sometimes people have difficulty initiating sort of where you're going to get some of this information from. I know Logan is used on the why part. He's used the feel, felt, found method. So again, absolutely feel free to look at that and see if that can help you really hone in what you're doing with your why, or your 30-second or 90-second spiel as you're going through that, kind of really try to make it as succinct as possible, and again, making it interesting. Then as you're sampling, one of the ways that you can kind of break that conversation, and this again comes from Eric Worre, is if I, would you. So if I give you something, would you give something in return? And I think right there, sampling doesn't just have to be product with what we're doing. It could be the opportunity. So you might be sending them the opportunity so they can sample that, all right, and kind of see what might be available. So whether or not you're sending out a Paul Sullivan video, Logan Stout video, or some of the my stories, you can use the if I, would you to really try to get them to buy in, or maybe not buy in is not the right word, but to have them sort of ready and accepting what you're going to do them. You just don't want to sample blindly. You just don't want to sample anybody. All right. So kind of, this is where you're finding out, hey, what's specific to that individual, and if I did something for you, would you do something for me? All right. Now, with anything, we talk about follow-up. Follow-up is key. Exposures are key. All right. So I've long heard it said, Lindsay said this before, Darlene has said this before, sampling without follow-up is a donation, okay? So really make sure that you're setting up your follow-ups with the individuals when they're doing that. Really the only way I consider sampling to be an exposure, so you've exposed them to something that we're doing with IDLife, whether that be the business presentation or any of the products that we have. My point is that of those is it's an exposure, and the whole point to have that exposure is to set up the next exposure so that we can get to 4, 6, 8 exposures where we know decisions and closings occur. And so again, be thinking about that, kind of put that in the back of your mind, is that the main reason, I'll just be thinking, hey, what do I need to do to get to the next exposure? So that way you're not thinking, what do I need to do to close this deal? It's what do I need to do to get to the next exposure? So whether it's the particular type of sampling that you're doing, setting up the time to do a follow-up Q&A, I'm going to email you a info sheet on the product. Just where is that, when's your next exposure going to be, and get that on the calendar and confirm that with them directly, that they know that you're going to be contacting them or reaching back out to them at that point. Okay, so we've done all these things and we want to reach back out to them. So what do? We get them on the phone and we say, what did you think? All right, coming right out of the Eric Worre book, what do you think? I'm always very specific in the clinic with the phrases and the words that we use when we're talking with our clients. I agree with Eric 100% that what do you think opens you up to any and all comments that come from that, whether they be positive or negative. And we definitely want to steer this. We want to keep this conversation in a positive tone. So what you want to do is we want to ask, what did you like best? Okay, and that again could be whether or not they watched a video for you or they're sampling a product for you. So what did they like best? And then based off of that, you can kind of work how you're gonna move the next exposure. Or you might be moving towards close. One of the other phrases that Eric Worre recommends a lot is on a scale from 0 to 10, where are you now? And he states that anything above a 1 is good. So, and of course, if you're getting 5s, 6s, 7s, all right, you can just at that point say, hey, what is it going to take? What information do you need to move you along on the process? Okay, so once you've got someone there, they're getting pretty close to making a decision. So again, in summary, guys, sampling is about exposures. Okay, let's make sure that we're focused on that. Let's get your whys locked down so you got something quick that you can use to introduce yourself with those guys. Let's avoid the what do you think closing phrase and go with what did you like best, and making sure that we're setting up our, read my notes here, I got a lot of notes, I had to write all this stuff down. Make sure that we're just setting up and doing our follow-ups or our exposure follow-ups. And a great place for that, I know a lot of you guys are using the grid system, the calendar system, the grid system for our leads that Lindsay has generated. I think that's a great place to also put your sampling on there. One quick other note there is that the pros, when you think about the pros of network marketing, what they try to do is they try to condense these exposures. So we all hear the statements, and we've seen it over and over again with the trainings, that it's going to be somewhere between 4 and 6 exposures before anybody makes a decision. Most sellers kind of give up at 2 or 3. All right. So again, I think the best thing that you can possibly do, and again, this is coming right out of GoPro, is that you condense those exposures to the shortest time as you possibly can, and that's going to take a little bit of finesse by you and your client. You knowing what they are going to tolerate in terms of how often you can be checking in on them and following up with them. So, all right, guys, assignment for today. Number one, the assignment for today is get the Eric Worre book, GoPro. All right, and we're going to check out. I want you to read through, but guys, this is such an easy read book. I want you to read chapters 6 and 7 and post a comment below stating what you like best about that. And then the second one is I want you to record yourself saying your why, okay? Whatever your intro statement's going to be, if you're going to use the feel, felt, found method, or whatever it is that you're going to use, record yourself. Almost all of us have smartphones. They've got some voice recorders on there. Record yourself, time yourself, see how it sounds, and then listen back to that. And in the comments below, just give us your own personal critique. How well do you think you did? I know I'm always working on trying to make myself better. I was talking with Darlene last night to work on that with our presentation that we did here at Vallejo. So 2 assignments. Get the Eric Worre book. Check out chapters 6 and 7. Those are both on sampling and follow-up. And then record yourself and upload your critique. I don't need your video. I don't need your audio, guys. That's a lot of stuff. But just a couple words on what you thought you did well and what you thought you could improve on. All right, guys. Have a phenomenal day. Sorry this is coming to you guys so late. Let's all have an awesome weekend, awesome Friday. Love you guys. Peace out.